What's going on, YouTube? We're back with Shades, and we're continuing our Let's Play of Katawa Shoujo. Last time we left off, we basically are still going through the intro sequence, I'm guessing. I'm not entirely sure how much free will this game is going to give you, and if you're wondering why the text is like grayish, I accidentally clicked forward like one scene, and I'm like, oh! So, yeah. So, I'm actually, like, really interested in how far this game goes. I'm sorry that I kind of put off this Gaia 2 again. It's just that, well, I'm just going to be playing whatever interests me in the moment. More than likely, I'm going to be finishing up Persona 3 as quickly as possible. I'm trying to finish that up because Persona 3 has been on my channel for nigh 2 years now, and it needs to die. I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's just that, well, I'm like it's 80% of my channel, so that should be done soon. And Persona 4 is gonna start after that, and I will be trying to add more and more varied content. Hopefully, I'll just be playing whatever I gravitate toward that day. So I'll be playing more varied content. It won't be the same game for the entire week, hopefully. Because I get the fact that if people don't like what I'm playing that day, they're just gonna ignore my channel or whatever, blah 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 blah. So I will be trying to vary the content that goes up. Hopefully not always a long let's play, but whatever. Anyway, during afternoon classes, the long-haired girl comes back and sits down in her seat without a word. Again, no one seems to notice, or if they do, no one says anything. I want to ask Misha about it, but I don't want to be nosy. Anyone else keep thinking of Misha Collins? Because that name is not common. After school, Shizune, oh my god, this music is so loud. Whoops. God. After school, Shizune and Misha quickly find me by the first floor lobby and latch onto me, covering each flank as in case I might try to escape. What? Actually, give me a second, guys, I'll be right back. Alright, ladies and gents, I have returned to take care of something real quick. Actually, I just realized I really like recording without my face cam, only because I don't have to fiddle with the lighting, and if, it's really sunny that day and my blinds don't help with keeping the room dark, it really helps that I'm not recording with a face cam. Anyway, I feel a little offended, but I'd been considering it, nevertheless. But I'm a bit disturbed that enough people have made a break for it in the past that they're on their guard. What's with this escort? This doesn't make me feel very comfortable. In fact, it makes me feel like a dangerous prisoner being transported to a cell. What's wrong, Hee-chan? That's right, we're just gonna go play a game of Risk, remember? I don't know, Misha. This seems a little sinister to me. I started thinking that when we sat down to play the game. They'll tie me down and torture me until I agree to join the student council. What's wrong with joining the student council? Just do it. Well, that's highly unlikely, but still, for some reason, it just seems like it would be so plausible. Personally, I probably wouldn't join student council after all they did, but personally, I wouldn't mind joining a club at all. Panning! Getting to the student council room is as simple as turning 2 corners from where we started. What? That's it? This makes you guys so on top of me seem a little silly. That's not true, Hee-chan. Shi-chan says that when their life is threatened, people have shown the capability to pull off some superhuman bursts of speed. Are you threatening my life? Life is threatened. Her expression unchanging, Misha signs something amusedly to Shizune, who makes a baffling face and puts her hands behind her back, looking pleased with herself. Misha feigns deafness and hums cheerily. Stop that. I know you heard me. You have no excuse, unlike Shizune. Shizune opens the door to the student council room. It's very plain, sparsely decorated room, although it's quite large, maybe even a little larger than a classroom. There's a big table in the center, surrounded by chairs and smaller desks prominently placed in the back. I assume that's Shizune's. There are a few regular desks and chairs stacked to one side as well. So super tongue-tied today. Extras, perhaps? Aside from the tables and chairs, the room doesn't have much else to offer. Just a couple of filing cabinets and bookshelves stacked with the old school records and documents. Not much else. In fact, nothing else. It's a pretty bleak room. They could at least put a potted plant in here or something. But the most noticeable thing in the room is that it doesn't. But the most noticeable thing that this room doesn't have is other people. Are we early? No. What are you gonna do? What do you mean, no? Doesn't mean nobody else is coming today? Yeah, that's right! Before I manage to ask why that's the case, Shizune claps her hands together very energetically. Hee-chan, let's play Risk. Come on, you promised, didn't you? You have to. Okay. Do you want to know the rules? We can explain it to you while we set everything up. While Misha is talking, Shizune takes out what looks like a board game from behind one of the filing cabinets and throws it on the table. Actually, this looks kind of interesting. After Misha spends a little too long for her liking running through the basics with a somewhat vague and confusing tutorial, Shizune cuts in and declares the game has started with a decisive motion, slicing her arm through the air. Shizune's aggressiveness is rubbing off on me. I start feeling more competitive than I intended to be when I agreed to this. Halfway into the game, while I tried to ponder how to defend against Shizune's assault from two fronts, she breaks my concentration by drumming her fingers on the table to get my attention. Hee-chan, Shi-chan wants to know why you're taking too long to make a move. Shi-chan also says that she will let you keep Australia if you agree to join the student council. Wow, she's trying to bribe me with in-game victory. I thought this was a game with no strings attached. Just the fact that she would dangle that over my head as an offer means that she knows I care about the outcome of this game. And anyway, no! Shi-chan admires your fighting spirit, and would be a benevolent dictator who will spare your people if you agree to join the student council. Dear sweet baby Jesus, she's really into this. I'm not gonna do the laugh. You're so competitive, Shizune. Wait, wrong tone. Whoopsie. I'm the main character who is bleak and and really like upset about my current situation. I would expect the student council president to be a little more magnanimous. Magnanimous? She doesn't seem to know what the word means or how it's signed, so she pulls out a piece of paper and writes it for Shizune, who in return signs it back to Misha. Misha pressed her index finger against her temples as if trying to physically imprint the word into her memory. Suddenly, Shizune bursts into a flurry of gestures. Misha looks daunted by the pace of her heated signing. Wait, please slow down. Shi-chan, Hee-chan? Shi-chan says you're going to lose. Tell her I will crush her world empire with my rebellion. Oh, okay. Those eyes of hers shine with childlike mischief. What the frack? I just noticed what the hell. Her facial expression, dear sweet Jesus. And she looks really confused right now. She says you have no choice but to keep playing like this. No, you won't. It's a trap! It's a trap! I don't know what to do. Attack aggressively! She's either really mocking me or trying to trick me. I had nothing else to lose though, so I might as well try something different. Maybe if I spread out my forces and try to control more territories, I could recoup the advantage? What? Shizune seems to focus on conquering whole nations, so maybe I can sacrifice my whole continents to gain more small countries. Wow, why am I yawning? It's worth a shot. A few turns later, I end up losing the game anyway. Aww. What would happen if I won? Shizune adjusts her glasses victoriously and allows herself to tentatively pump a fist in the air in celebration. I wonder, can I go back and, pick again? Nope, no I can't. No I can't. I win, yay! There's no need to translate that, it was pretty clear. Don't look so sad, Hee-chan. You were really giving it your best, that's what I thought. Sometimes your best isn't good enough though, if anyone knows that, it's me. You did very well for someone who just learned how to play today. Hee-chan, you attack Iceland and North America at the same time. That's a very daring move. Shi-chan is impressed. Oops. The mark of great people is that they are daring, and that they can follow through. You're already halfway there. Isn't that great, Shi-chan? That isn't enough, though. Just potential isn't enough. There's no point to potential if we don't take the first steps, and there's no point to that if you don't keep going. I want to see more. You're right, Shi-chan, but that's so demanding. Shizune leans forward and suddenly looks a lot less playful, like the serious person I expected her to be from the start. What the hell? Hee-chan, would you like to join student council? She really doesn't waste time, does she? But it's only my second day of school, so I'm hesitant about committing to something so early. I haven't even taken a look at any other clubs yet. But spending time with Shizune and Misha doesn't seem like something I would hate. I still need more time to think about it before I decide for sure. Maybe. I'll get back to you on it. Okay, Hee-chan, but I hope you're just not saying that so we don't feel bad. No, really. Really? Hee-chan, if you're gonna say that, you're saying that is definitely the truth, and there can't be any mistaking it. I know. I guess I should have my revenge for losing, at the very least. Shizune smiles with a mischievous way that feels like twisting the knife in the wound of my loss. What the hell's with that face? I take a glance at the clock on the wall and realize I've spent far longer playing Risk than I expected. Sorry, I think I have to go. I wanted to go to the library. It's not closed yet, is it? Shizune scratches her head and gestures at Misha. How hard can it be to determine whether the library is open? There's a clock right there on the wall. She can't tell time. It should be unless the library is absent. Librarian. I said library. Wow. I think you're right, Chi-chan. We think the library is open. It's on the second floor. Can't miss it. Do you want us to show you where it is? No, thanks. It's okay. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. One flight of stairs up, I run into problems. The second floor hallway is a carbon copy of the third floor one. Wide, of course, and plain, like only hallways can be. The problem is the library's whereabouts are not as easily determined as one I would think. The classrooms are marked with signs stating which class they belong to, but then there's a plethora of other unmarked rooms. Is the library one of them, or is it just somewhere down the hallway? I bet on the latter and choose my direction at random. I have to turn around the corner, and an unmarked door draws my attention because it's not closed. It's not open either, though, just barely ajar so that I can't see it's open and nothing else. It would make sense for the library door to be uninvitingly open, and while this one is not quite that, it's good enough. At the very least, it means that someone is inside and I can ask for directions, no matter how embarrassing that is. I gingerly push on the center of the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arm ready to pull back at a moment's notice. The feeling of being an outsider to this school can't be shaken from my mind, so that I instinctively fear doing something wrong by entering. The door slowly creaks as if groaning from a deep sleep, though it's much easier to open than I anticipated. Why is there so much detail in opening a damn door? Unless you're building up to something. Leaning over and poking my head ever further inside to gain sight of the room as fast as possible, the meek "hello" on my lips is quickly snatched away. This is not as I was expecting. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent, taking in the sight of the solitary figure and taking center stage in the otherwise abandoned room. The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing at the doorway staring at the beautiful girl. Really? 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 How easy is it for you to be distracted by a pretty face? Like if it was me, like, oh, someone's in here, bye. Evidently having taken her time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup, opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me. I'm guessing she's blind? Hello there, may I help you? Staring directly in front of herself, the movements of her lips seem to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's a soft, measured voice that reminds me she's a being separate from the room itself. Meh? Not only has she taken like the tallest girl I've ever laid eyes on, but even among the foreigners I've met, she's strikingly distinct. Oh, hi, sorry for intruding. I was just kinda lost. She takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if it's carefully choreographed beforehand. Care to take a seat? Unexpected, considering that I'm intruding upon her. Thanks? I slowly step toward another seat opposite her, the girl resting the teacup and saucer on the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track my movements with her head is telling. That the slight cloudiness in her eyes means she must be at least partially blind, like Kenji. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes me the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so very different from the student council office. I take it you're a new student to Yamaku. Yeah, I just transferred in yesterday. I get the distinct feeling my speech pattern doesn't match the formality of hers, accentuated by her restrained bow of greeting. One which I hasten to match before realizing the futility of the action. I am Lily Sato. Pleased to meet you. Hisao Nakai. She gives a nod before gesturing roughly to the direction of her teacup. Would you care for a drink? Sure. As much as it pains me, I can't keep step with her formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. Without another word, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out along a shelf. A brush here, a brush there, her left hand often slightly touching the sides of whichever container she's pouring into. It seems to be the process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see her on her back, she seems to use her long, dainty fingers to measure the right amount of water in the cup. It's one thing to see the different disabilities the students in my class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. Shizune and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me, and Lily herself seems to have workarounds for problems I'd never thought of. While I feel slightly guilty about doing the work, she seems to be pleased following the correct process of repairing the drink. I said repairing. Whoops. So, her soft voice brings me out of my silent observance. Which room were you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school. The school library. Some classmates told me that it was on this floor. She finishes pouring water into the teacup as she nods, a small metallic tapping coming from the teacup indicating it's being stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakamichi. As are most students. To be with them means you're in class 3-3, no? That's right, in the science room with Muto. She gives me a small giggle before setting... What? I thought I skipped some because I clicked twice. She gives a small giggle before setting the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. He's quite the character. I imagine you'll come to like him. Most do. Oh, it's me! I haven't actually seen the character in a while. She is tall. Damn. I should sit down. Unless this is like unless this art is drawn in a really odd perspective. As she sets down the tea, I gently take it and have a sip. I'm more of a coffee person, but it seems to be a rather bad moment to bring it up. Nonetheless, the smell is quite nice. I hardly think it'd be hard to choke down. It's pretty rude to say, like, oh, I have to choke this tea down to be polite. Nah. I like tea, personally. Thanks, Sato. It tastes really nice. She smiles and quickly waves her hand in front of her face. Lily, please. There's no need to be too formal. What? What? Oh. Lily, please. There's no need to be too formal. I was like, did she just call him Lily? What? She says this in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. I try to talk like that, but if you know me really well, clearly I am not bred to be sophisticated. I often add, like, fairly, fancy words to my sentences. But that's only because I practice talking like that, and I'm pretty sure someone who's actually trained to speak, like, properly, like, heard me, they'd be like, wannabe. I guess I should try to ask her about herself, as it really doesn't seem as if she's catering to me. So which class are you from? I'd imagine it's one of the third-year classes? Correct, I'm in class 3-2, which is on the third floor, same as yours. It's taught by Miyagi, and specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Sorry. I feel like slapping myself for the faux pas, looking at her face, though she doesn't seem to be at least put off by it. I'm pretty sure if she's gone this far in life with blindness, she's probably used to faux pas and things like that. Because, like, in all honesty, like, I'm pretty sure if I was blind, 1, I'd be pretty pissed about it. 2, it would suck, because right now I'm thinking about it in the context of I'm used to having eyesight. But in all honesty, like, if someone, like, say, oh, I see, I wouldn't be like, oh, are you saying that, like, you have the ability to... No, it's not that big of a deal at all. It's a phrase. My, there's no need to change your speech on my account. See? Sure, sorry, I guess I'm really showing my newness here. An environment like this world would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. While the same can't be said for everyone, many have come to terms with their conditions. A category which would include her, it seems, also ready to jump ship from this particular topic, I see segue into another. So that's how you spell that. Do you come here to drink tea often? It's a really nice place. Thinking on it, this might be her version of the place behind my school that I like to have lunch at. I come here fairly often during lunchtime. My duties as class representative don't leave enough time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea. Class rep, huh? Compared to Shizune, her mannerisms seem to be almost completely opposite. While Shizune is blunt and fiercely driven, Lily seems to be relaxed and calm, almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view of the school's clubs. What kind of clubs are here to join? The more popular ones are track and field club, which uses the field near the school during lunchtime, the baseball club, and the book club in a room near the library. There are also numerous small ones too, though there are such as art and music clubs. At a time when I'm just wanting to get up on my feet, rushing into a club right away seems unappealing. I wonder if the school shares the same rule as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? It isn't, though it is encouraged. Encouraged. Good, that's a relief. I've really let down my guard around this girl to let such a thing slip out. The fact that seems to slightly amuse her. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I finally start drinking it as Lily does the same. Wow, we talked for a really long time. Huh. As I look to the window over her shoulder, I notice the light coming into the room has slightly orange tint. Even here, time does not stand still. Huh, the time's gone quickly. Sorry? Right, she's blind, of course she can't see the sun setting. It just looks like the sun's starting to set. The music's really loud in my ears. It seems to come as a surprise for her. I guess she must have lost track of the time. Sorry, Hisao, I didn't mean to keep you from the library for so long. I quickly moved to allay her concern. Oh, no, it's okay. The library's still open, isn't it? She pauses, taking a moment to think on it. It's probably something I should have asked Shizune when I had the chance, but Lily seems likely to know in any case. True, it's still open. It's open until 6:30 during weekdays. A quick glance at my watch confirms I have well enough time to get there. I might get going in that case. It's been nice talking with you, Lily. She smiles and gives a deep nod. Her hands are still neatly folded on the table in front of her. It was my pleasure. She gets the British accent. Oh, come to think of it, shall I show you to where the library is? I couldn't possibly ask for more help. I should be able to find it alright. Well, unless my navigational skills fail me. Which they seem to have a habit of doing. It's alright. I was going to be talking to the librarian there in any case. I couldn't introduce you. I can't really do a British accent. I'm just gonna make it sound like dainty and frilly. This gets better and better. It's pretty hard to deny her offer. If you're sure, then that'd be great. Thanks. She stands up to follow me. She takes hold of a straight, retractable cane that had been slipped in the handle of her bag on the floor. Compared to the cane the boy had in my class had, Lily's looks much thinner and longer. His must be for support, whereas Lily's is for navigation. Together we leave the peaceful room and enter an empty hallway on the way to the library. Side by side, my pace carefully slowed to match hers. We walk slowly through the hallway. It doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door to a warm-looking room, apparently situated in the center of the floor rather than either wing. Ladies first. She gives an appreciative smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. To the left is the wooden library counter, with the library proper being on the right. It easily dwarfs my old school's library, with a distinct smell of old books giving the place an almost old-world air. It doesn't seem to be a lot of students here, but considering the time, it isn't a big surprise. Everyone's probably either in the school grounds or the dorms. Yuko, are you here? She says to the thin air, says the librarian doesn't seem to be present, and of course Lily can't see this. What's unexpected is what draws a reaction. Something from under the counter thuds against it, followed by a quiet wail. Aww. Oh, hello, pretty lady. The origin, apparently the librarian, quickly crawls out and bounces up to an extremely rigid attention. Hi, Lily, how can I help you? Her voice is strained in a failing attempt to sound casual as she's rubbing the back of her head. Good afternoon. What happened just now? I heard a strange sound. It's nothing, I just hit my head. See, I dropped an eraser under my desk, and while I was looking for it, a pencil dropped, and I was looking for both of them, and you came and surprised me. Are you alright? I'm sorry, I couldn't know. It's okay for making you worry. This is nothing. I had worse happen to me. She looks like a jittery type, in all honesty. I don't think she's a student. She shouldn't be. But then again, she's on a first-name basis with Lily, so I'm assuming she's young-ish. She's quick to reverse Lily's apologies, almost frantically trying to push aside the possibility that she could be in any way inconvenienced by bashing her head on the counter. I'd probably do the same thing. Yes, worse things have happened. The girl fidgets with her fingers as Lily doesn't seem to drop her concerned expression, and shovels some papers around the counter for no reason. A little shorter than Lily, replete with glasses, freckles, and a very troubled look, she seems fit to fit a library perfectly. Lily, did you get my message? Message? Oh, the 2 imported books that arrived. Right, they finally came. I can't believe it took so long, but amidst her celebrations, partially for managing to change the change the topic, I'm sure, she notices me from the corner of her eye and freezes on the spot when she does. Oops! Oh no, I'm sorry for not noticing you before. It's honestly quite alright. Clearly you two are friends. Did you need to check out a book or return one? I'm sorry, I'm sorry. The way she can quickly shift between moods is a little unsettling. He's with me. Yuko, this is Hisao, a new student. Hisao, this is Yuko, the school librarian. Pleased to meet you. Hisao, right? Hisao. Pleased to meet you, too, Hisao. For a second, she visibly attempts to engrave the name on her mind so she won't forget. Yuko often arranges to import foreign books in Braille for me. Would you like to tell Hisao a little something about the library? I'm sorry if I forget to do voice acting, but I'm not very good at it. I can do weird voices, like rather well, but giving people legitimate voices is weird. Is not weird. Hard for me. Please, Lily, I can't. I don't know what he could be interested in. This is too much responsibility. Really? Doesn't seem hard at all. How is it any responsibility at all? I don't get it, but her objection is so sincere that I don't doubt for a second that she would rather disembowel herself on the spot than tell me where the light novels are. But... So, there are a lot of books in Braille here. I attempt to save the day by asking the first thing that pops into my head. It seems to work at least partially, as Yuko seems to, not exactly relax, but at least look slightly less tense. Well, I think about a third or a fourth of Yamaku's books are either in Braille or audio. It makes sense given all the blind students that'd be here. Yeah, that would make sense. If it's only that, how come this library is so big in the first place? Well, we get a lot of new books regularly because the library is adequately endowed. That's probably why. They spend more on new books than on my salary, then I have to go organize and shelve them all. It's so troublesome they weigh so much. I wish I could quit this job. Really? Huh, I guess the pay's bad. Yeah, it makes sense. A very awkward silence follows the revelation of too much information. I'll go check on the aisles then, if you don't mind. It's probably best for all of us if she doesn't keep talking to me. Huh. Alright. Very well. Meanwhile, Yuko, I would have those books if it's alright with you. Transition. My first impression was right. The library is surprisingly big. Ambling down the narrow aisles, I studied the spines of books in random order, occasionally sliding one out to read the blurb, taking it with me if it looks good. In a few moments, I have a respectable stack of books in my arms. I guess I'll never be stuck for choice in here. The normality of this library sinks in. Sure, there are large print and Braille books scattered throughout, but that's what it is, a library. If it's as if the calm mood from the room I had tea with Lily snuck in with us in here, unless it was here to begin with. Something about it puts me at ease, just like before. I reach the end of the aisle and find the collection of desks I set up for study or personal reading. Going a little further, though, I discover a nice quiet corner at the back. While the rest of the library has an odd student sitting at a desk, either reading or stealthily sleeping, the back is pretty much deserted. As I glance around, I see someone who I recognize sitting on one of the several beanbags. It's the dark-haired girl from my class, the one who snuck out of the classroom earlier. She's reading a book, keeping it close to her face, which makes it look like she's really into it. From the way she was acting today, I had her pegged as more of a delinquent than a bookworm. In fact, her mysterious appearance from the class raises all sorts of whys in my head. Intrigue floats slowly but surely toward the surface, and before I know it, I'm walking towards a mysterious long-haired girl. Creep. At most, I would probably wave and say hi, but not like go like sprint toward. Well, he's not sprinting; he's walking. I guess there's no harm introducing myself as I would with anyone else. She's a classmate after all. Walking over to another beanbag, I take a seat, lay my books beside it. The girl starts and looking scaredly up at me from underneath her fringe. This is the first time I've seen her this close. Underneath her long, dense bangs, I can see that part of her face, or at least a third, if not half, is pretty badly scarred. My eyes immediately drawn to the scars, subconsciously peeking past her until they met her own eyes. For a second, I'm shocked, and I divert my eyes to the books in her hands, before I realize looking away probably only makes it worse. It takes too many It takes too many seconds to collect myself, and I remember what I walked up to her for. Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. It's okay. The girl certainly doesn't look like it's okay, but I'll let it slide. So, do you mind if I sit here? She seems to be very uncertain whether it's okay or not for me to sit, but finally she nods just a little. Okay. Okay. I take the seat. Oh my god! I take the seat next to her, and she hides herself behind her book. Life of Pi. Never heard of it. So, sorry again for startling you. I'm Hisao. She looks up from her book, stalling a little before replying. I know. We are in the same class. Her speech is stilted and so quiet that it's barely audible even in the still library. Somehow I think that my delinquent impression of her was wrong. Hanako. I'm Hanako. I've seen a lot of screen caps of you. I did not get any good vibes from those screen caps or the fan art. I did not get anything good. I resist the urge to say that's a nice name just to have something to say, but really it's the only thing I can think of. I feel like an idiot. Everyone here must be so used to being different to each other, and here I'm being all bothered and fussed about that kind of thing. Don't let me interrupt your reading. I'll just check these books out if you don't mind. She nods a little and sighs a little sigh of relief. So I tried to read the covers and introductions of the books I picked up, and she buries her face in her book. I'm so sorry. Uncomfortable silence consumes us. My eyes still wander to her direction. I sneak peeks at her flowing hair and the scars it's hiding. After a while I realize she's doing the same, and only pretending to be immersed in the life of Pi. Her gaze is not inquisitive at all, though. It darts around like a scared rabbit. When our gaze finally meet, the chain reaction is unstoppable. Oh no. She's insulted. She thinks we're going to make fun of her. She thinks we're doing something. Oh no. She stands up forcefully from the beanbag and takes a deep breath. I've got to go do something. I've got to do something. Without warning, Hanako takes off and runs toward the counter. Her hair-like takeoff catches me so off guard that I don't manage to go after her until she has a good head start. By the time I reach the counter, she's nowhere to be seen. Lilly and Yuko are happily chatting away. Knowing that I won't be able to catch Hanako myself, I approach the girls. And I'm going to end it right here because I'm a little over time. So anyway, this is turning out to be pretty interesting. The characters seem to be pretty varied in personality. As far as backstory, I won't know that till a lot later, but they seem to be pretty interesting, of course, because this is a dating sim. It is a visual novels dating sim, and because of that, I'm pretty sure most of the characters are going to be of the opposite gender, because reasons, but whatever. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you liked this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from myself, hit that subscribe button. And you are now exiting the Shadyverse. My name's Shades, and I hope you've enjoyed your day in the shade. See you guys later.